Haven't we all wondered if America was really founded by a descendant of King Arthur who just so happened to fight a witch with his 6 twin brothers to survive? Vote for another one to help me find out.
Have you ever wondered if the zombies you work with every day could actually beat real zombies if they flew through an interdimensional portal? I sure have. Vote for Zombie Wars, and we can figure out what happens next together.
They say if you ignore your problems long enough, they go away. Unless those problems are banana-fueled ape debt collectors with clipboards and brass knuckles.
Yeah, apparently missing one feature film payment triggers the Prime Ape Collection Protocol. I woke up to 3 gorillas in tailored suits asking me about my podcast revenue. Joke's on them. I don't have any.
But what we do have is 5 brand new beers, each one ready to become the next ridiculous movie idea you never asked for. Welcome to Fast 5, the podcast segment where chaos meets craft beer, and you, dear listener, get to decide what happens next.
At the end of today's episode, cast your vote for your favorite pitch. That winning idea will turn it into a full-blown cinematic fever dream next week, assuming I'm not repossessed by a silverback in suspenders.
But before we dive into this week's 5 beer-fueled pitches, let's take a quick look at last week's feature, a coming-of-age, gooey alien buddy movie about friendship, hormones, and the danger of turning into your crush.
It's Let It Morph, and trust us, it was weird, heartfelt, and I'm loving it. Or at least I did, and I hope you guys did too.
What did the boys brew up last time? Let's revisit the madness.
So, Let It Morph was from Fast 5 32, and it was one of we got a lot of user submissions. That was one of them that came right from Untapped, and it got picked up and owned the voting panel.
Yeah.
I think that has something to do with original patterns, social media following.
Absolutely.
But hey, a win is a win, and I had a lot of fun with that movie. I said to Harrison right after we wrapped, like, this is one I would be really excited to go see.
Yes, it was great. We love the muffin movies and the banana hammocks and the back alley kitties, but it was nice to return to the juicy bits and the hustle is weird part of the Beer Me That movie universe, and the banana whale, which is kind of the mixture of the two, the muffins and the juicy bits. That part of the Beer Me That movie universe where it's a little more heartfelt. We're learning things. We're remaking the Goonies again, and we're doing one of our favorite things, which is making a movie we'd like to watch as kids or as adults to make us feel like kids again. And that was I think that checked all the boxes for me. Let It Morph did. I'm so pumped you guys voted for it. I remember when I just saw the name, it was every once in a while when we do these, we're going through the Fast 5 and we see a beer, like almost in an instant I can see the entire movie, like in vaguely kind of hazy, but I like almost know
like
it.
A memory picture.
Right, exactly that. And I love when that happens, and that happened with Let It Morph. So again, it was very cool. Then the challenge becomes like, all right, I saw this movie, which is like a half-second, half-blurry collage.
What did it
smashed
actually
into
look
my brain. Right, what did I actually
I saw an alien, and everything was so clear.
And now it's like a dream. It's gone.
I had this great dream. It was amazing.
Right.
There was a truck, and I think we were on a road. Everything's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. And I need to pee. I need to get up and go to the bathroom. Yeah. So it was one of those, which I love when that happens. And then we got to figure out what actually the movie was, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. But yeah, it was fun. Morph was cool. I think the idea was unique enough. I mean, we said in the Fast 5, it was kind of Alex Mack meets E.T., but that idea, I'm kind of surprised, and maybe I'm just forgetting or don't know, that we haven't had a movie like that where you've got kind of the T-2000 kind of could do it, but again, in a bad way. We took that ability of what if we had an alien that could be whatever at once, and it finds a group of kids and needs help.
can't talk or
and
can
can't
only speak in
talk.
infomercial was pretty cool.
Right, what happens, and that was fun too, to figure out how do we get this thing that definitely doesn't speak English to learn it. The TV. Forget about a library or book that takes too long. We don't have the internet yet because it's the late 80s / early 90s. So we've got after school television and video games, and that turned out to be enough to let Morph tell them what they needed to know.
I would love to do a movie just about my love of video games.
Yes.
I don't think that's a movie as much as it is like the shittiest thing you finally get done scrolling on Netflix and you're like, what is this? But
watch it.
Like that was a time in my life where I was growing up and going through those struggles.
Yep.
And my joy came from hanging out with friends and playing video games and learning how to hack computers.
Right.
And the world was open, whereas now it's like you have to figure out how to nicely tell this person they're dumb via email all day, or you'll lose your job and become homeless, and your wife will think you're dumb and leave you, and you'll end up like in a terrible situation.
Exactly, with an empty greenhouse and a bunch of debt.
Yeah.
I know. So yes, John, you're right. These simpler times, they've certainly felt simple to me. It's fun to revisit them. I just had another thought. It's fleeting. It's gone, just like the original Let It Morph idea.
We probably could have named the kids Leo, Michelangelo, Donatello, Raphael.
I know.
There just happened to be 4 of them, but I realized that the tropes, the personalities we gave them all, and that's not. I'm whatever. Call me out if you want, but that's not us copying the Ninja Turtles. That's the Ninja Turtles getting it right.
Right.
Like there's a dynamic of 4 people. And these are their strengths and weaknesses.
Yep. And we did, I like that a lot, that we played on the strengths and the weaknesses of these characters. They felt a little more alive, and it made it easier for me, at least, as we were going through the movie, to figure out what they would do, how they would act, maybe what they would say in certain situations once we kind of understood them. And we took some time at the top of that movie to really do that, lay them out, what they liked and what they were afraid of. So that was really cool. I also thought bringing in the Nintendo Zapper, that was a great idea, and have it being the key to making this light ship go, because that was a sick part of my childhood.
Oh my gosh.
A mind-blowing device that, like, when I discovered it, it felt like magic. First time I played it, I couldn't believe it was real. And in my cousin's house, where I played that with one for the first time when I was probably 10. So that was fun to bring that back, think about it, and then have it be even more powerful than we've imagined yet.
Yeah, I don't think there's not much I can say I would have done differently.
Right.
With that, we didn't muffinify it.
I was gonna say, I'm glad we didn't get creepy with Jenny. It was right there for us. We had plenty of fun with that in the Fast 5, but this one, even though there was some rolling around with Jenny on Jenny, Morph Jenny action in the mud, it wasn't
just for a minute.
You're right. It was all over the clothes. It was all.
Yeah. This is not a Cinemax movie.
No.
And I think it showed, for me, discipline, maybe some grown-upness on a real person's end.
Yeah.
But for me, it was like it was nice not to go to those sort of easy laughs.
Yes.
If you will.
I know. And then John Rambo. We got to hang out with Rambo again, even though a couple weeks ago we just had Rambo the deer, Rambo
Bambi's
Bambi.
Revenge.
Which again was more of like a what's his face, like Hannibal Lecter Bambi than a Rambo Bambi, but there was elements of Rambo in that movie for sure. The bandana, the machine gun scene with the trigger finger. This was full on Morph Rambo, quoting McDonald's and Burger King commercials, which that'll be hilarious to see. I would love to see that in a movie and just have like an image in my head.
AI youngified Sly Stallone. Like, don't leave home without it.
Yes.
We should have named Jenny Adrian.
I had that thought of yelling out Adrian and be like, her name's Jenny. Maybe it'll happen in the movie. Who knows? Let it happen in your mind at home. But yeah, that was fun. It was cool. It kind of moved. I think we moved through it well. We always think these will be hour-long shows, and they're always an hour and a half. But that's just us. But I liked how it moved. It felt like an adventure, kind of like a big long chase scene. Which movies are fun too. So hopefully you guys felt that way.
Yeah, and
as well.
We've done now 32 movies, 32 feature films, I think.
I think
so
that's right.
You've probably listened to a couple of them. If you do think like, God, I wish you guys wouldn't be so precise with the script, like just if you have any feedback or opinions,
Yeah.
Harrison manages our social media. When you send Beer Me That Movie a message, Harrison reads it. So if you want to provide any feedback, that's the best way to do it.
Yes, please do. And I do think you're right. That's a good thing to say. There are some movies where we fly more by the seat of our pants. I feel like Giggle Water is a good recent example of that, where a lot of that was, I mean, it's all fly by the seat of our pants. That one was the Wild West. This one I felt like I said, when I saw the Fast Five, it almost all kind of fell out in front of me, and we just kind of had a path to walk down that episode for Let It Morph. So yeah, sometimes they're wilder. Sometimes it's like, oh, we got it. This story, I can see it so clearly. Let's lay it out there. And so yeah, let us know what you think. Let us know what you like, what you would change. We're making this for John and I, because we like having fun and drinking beer together. But really, we want you guys involved as much as possible, even beyond voting. So share your thoughts, give us your feedback, and we'll do what we can with it.
But definitely vote, because that's cool.
Yeah, awesome.
So keeping voting in mind, and if you have any things you'd like us to consider, we're open books. So it's going to be much easier than telling your wife, hey, I wish you would always fold my socks this way for me, and then sleep on your couch for a week. We won't do that to you.
No,
but
never.
what we will do is get ready to drink a beer I'm really excited about.
Yes.
So
it's got some history.
Quick pause for the Beer of the Week announcement, and then Harry's coming back with a really exciting one for us to drink today.
Let's see what the boys are going to quote. Science this week.
Okie dokie. So this episode's Beer of the Week is called The Hustle is Dank. Surprise! The Hustle is Dank. Where's that camera? I'm an idiot. Okay, so if you've been around hanging out with us for a little bit, you've hopefully listened to The Hustle is Weird, an episode we did, or you've certainly heard us talk about it, right, on other episodes, because it is one of our favorites. So this is, which of course is named after the beer, The Hustle is Weird. This is The Hustle is Dank. So this is from the same brewery, Dissolver, out in Nashville. It's another collab they did with Troon. Troon is another brewery from New Jersey. If you don't know, they're famous for hopping the crap out of the beers they make. And Dissolver doesn't shy away from hops either. So Hustle's Dank, collab between Dissolver and Troon. It's a triple dry hopped West Coast IPA. Triple dry hops. That means there's so many hops in this thing. ABV is 6.66%, which is fun. John's cracking up.
I mean, as soon as I opened the can,
I was gonna say,
from arm's reach, I could smell immediately a plastic baggie found in my college dorm.
I was gonna say, exactly right. This smells like everyone's underwear drawer.
Wow.
I smelled it too as soon as I cracked mine open. So a lot of hops in here. This room smells very piney, and I'll kind of pull some highlights out of the description from Dissolver. I think it's cool. So they use Riverbend Malt, which is a local malt house for a lot of the malt in this beer. I think all the malt. But then in terms of the hops, which is really why you drink a beer like this, so they have Superdelic in here, which we first had on this podcast from Mad Mole. They gave us a beer that had Superdelic in it, which is a newer hop in the beer world. That was really cool. And then they use Columbus and Cascade, which are old school hops, which are classic and West Coast IPAs, and Centennial Incognito in the fermenter. So Centennial is my favorite hop of all time. So again, big and piney.
Incognito, that's just like a fancy way to get hops into the beer.
Yeah. And then they spunded it, which means it's all naturally carbonated, which is cool too. another element, and then there's more Superdelic Columbus and Mosaic Cryo in a dry hop, and then they dropped it again with Mosaic Hop Keef, which is like concentrated Mosaic.
Oh, I know what Keef is.
And then again with Galaxy Terpenes, which is like basically hop oil from Galaxy hops in the bright tank. So this beer cost too much to make, but they made it. So enough talking about it. I've just been smelling it. I don't know. Have you had some yet, John?
I'm about to take my first
Let's get in here.
sip.
We're pouring it out tonight to get the whoo, golly, dankity dank in the nose.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
That's very Duke Nukem of you.
Yeah, baby. Yep, it is.
Shake it, baby.
Shake it.
First video game I ever played with a strip club in it.
Yes, me too. I remember the day it happened, and I was like, I can't believe this.
This is incredible.
If only they can make more pixels.
That's exactly
Square
what
lady.
Dissolver thought, but just with hops.
Yeah, holy crow.
This is excessive.
Ooh, it
this
is.
like it's so. I mean, hoppy. You drink
yeah.
beer. New England puts a lot of hops in the New England dry hopped IPAs. Great. Take all of that and just like magnify it to death.
Yeah.
This is almost like it almost dries your mouth out,
Right.
like you're sucking a hop.
Yeah, exactly right. It is the dank. It's so dank, and what I mean by that is it really just does taste like you're eating marijuana. Which I wouldn't recommend.
It's not the best to eat.
Yeah, just
sure.
like dry off the leaf. Don't do that.
You got to at least decarb it first.
Science.
If you already
So
know,
we've heard.
congrats.
Right.
And if you don't know, it's cool science stuff. But anyways, this is not weed, although it is analogous
Sure.
to weed.
Hops.
When I
certainly.
drink it, it tastes like I'm drinking like a one of those Stanley water cups full of water and packed with a half ounce of weed and left on the beach for a while to just
Mix. Yeah, tea. There we go. Ferment.
But that's
Steep.
not like this beer isn't my jam. I'll be honest and I'll say for me, this is like more than I want. But I also know 10 people that would like be foaming at the mouth to get this much
stab their own mother just to get a beer from True, number one, but then also that it had all these hops in it. So it's certainly a celebration of how much can I hop a beer. I also I grabbed this beer because we love the name, we love Dissolver. Also, I think I've had one Troon beer before. Troon is known for making hazy, like Sunny D looking IPAs,
and it's usually sold out like the
instantly.
minute it's available.
Yeah, like at the brewery,
already gone.
It's impossible to get. That's the whole deal. But when I saw this as a West Coast, I was like, oh, am I going to drink a clear Troon beer? Nope, I'm not. It's still. It's also
at some point it might have been.
There's too much hop material in here for this to be clear. It was silly for me to think of. No fault of anyone's. But I mean,
can't even see the light bulb
it
through
could be hazier, but it's definitely not clear. So it doesn't need to be at all. So this is gonna be fun. God. It's gonna be intense.
It smells like when you walk into the hop cooler.
Yeah, exactly. It smells like literally opening up a fresh bag of vacuum sealed hops right into your face, which was one of my favorite things to do working in a brewery. So now we're gonna drink it tonight. Which we'll do that, and if you're watching, I imagine our faces will make some more wow faces tonight as we keep drinking this bad mamma jamma.
And it's only 6.5%.
Exactly right. That's nice too.
It's got way more flavor than it should. This is like a dry aged ribeye in terms of steak.
Man,
it's still just a steak, but there's a lot more flavor in there than you ought to be able to fit in liquid.
La 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 la. There's a lot happening. Cool. So. As always, this is the beer. We're not making a movie about it. It's going to inspire us, though, as we go hunt for those movies and dig through Untapped right now. So we'll keep sipping on it and get to the fun stuff. But before we do, you'll notice that there are no ads on this show, unless you count John trying to sell me his old air fryer every week.
It still works, man. Smells like buffalo sauce permanently, but seriously, we don't do ads on this show. We'd rather hear from you.
So hit us up on Instagram or leave us a voicemail on speakpipe.com/beermethatmovie. We actually listen, like those apes from accounting.
Now, let's get into it. We've got 2 listener submissions and 5 beers, 5 pitches, and 1 shot at feature film glory. This is the Fast 5. Vespa Lamborghini. Beer number 1 comes to us directly from Lance via Untapped. Lance submitted the beer Zombie Wars by Beer Zombies Brewing out in Nevada. Nevada
Yes.
or Nevada?
Oh, no. I'm always wrong, John. I don't know.
I think it could go either way, but I say
so.
Nevada unless I'm thinking about it. Then I say Nevada.
And now I
Sounds
don't know.
fancier.
I don't know what I do. I maybe say it twice a year, too, so...
That's fair. I say Sierra Nevada when I'm talking about
I guess
the
you're
brewery.
right. I do say that more. Maybe I say it more than I realize.
Yeah. But I'm not thinking about the state when I say.
You're right.
Anyways,
Very different.
I'm going to say Nevada.
Sure.
And I'm not from there, so you can just call me an out-of-towner if you hate me for it. But Zombie Wars is the beer, so we need to come up with a movie idea for
Yes.
Zombie Wars.
And the can art's cool. It's like an old Star Wars poster, but everyone's a zombie, so that'll be a fun cease and desist letter they've probably already gotten from
It's like the exact
Lucasfilm.
Star Wars
yeah,
font.
it's really not trying to dodge any bullets here. They're actual X-wings, and Darth Vader's there, and the Death Star. I mean, this is just yeah. I'm not telling beer zombies anything they don't know, but okay, so that's. Maybe that'll inspire us, but I don't want it to be just a simple, all right, zombie wars. We're just making World War Z happen. We can, our way, we can probably be a little more creative with it, a little more beer me that movie with it and make it weird. Make it weird. Do you have any thoughts, John, about zombie wars and what the heck, how we're not just going to make The Walking Dead? What are we going to do?
Well, I can pull from real life.
All right, let's see. That's a good place to start.
I've never fought a zombie. I think all of us have kind of fantasized about it at some point, but for me, this is a like a middle-aged burnout dude working at a tech startup.
Yeah.
And somehow through an email chain, through some technology that the startup's working on, they open up a portal or ancient relic or something like that.
Yep.
And now the office is cursed and zombies are pouring in. Kind of like this could be a metaphor for intern.
I was going to say a lot of metaphor for zombies in the workplace.
It really, zombies are the guys that are just waiting to retire. Zombies could be the CEO, but in this case, zombies are like actual zombies. They're like attacking the HR people, are getting eaten. They're getting emails from corporate still like we need a lot of growth in third quarter this year. We need to have the best third quarter ever. I don't care what we have to do to get there. And now Lance, the guy that checked us in, the guy that's our protagonist, has like this corporate deadline.
I see it.
To file his expense reports, maybe take PTO, but he has no choice. He has to get this Q3 above revenue targets while the office is being flooded by zombies. It's kind of like a Office Spacier take on it.
Yes, I see this, and you've basically said what I'm about to say, but to kind of to do our thing with it, this is basically zombies versus zombies. I think like Lance in this case would be burned out, kind of a zombie himself in this job, as is everyone he's working with, and they're all checked out and going through the paces, and that's what causes this goof up with the reply all, and now their world is filled with actual zombies. So these people who are kind of on cruise control, again, kind of becoming modern day zombies, something I think a lot of us are guilty of slipping into have to snap out of that and find something to fight for to save themselves from being consumed by actual zombies. And that does become kind of Office Space and rising up and standing up for yourself and becoming more than the guy that sits in the cubicle hiding from his life. You have to actually put something on the line and fight some zombies to make something of yourself. And maybe at the end you get to, headbutt the CEO out the top office building and blame it on a zombie. I don't know, but but I like this. There's
Zombie did it.
Right. There's a lot of metaphor here. We can have people, stapling zombies' heads together with a stapler and hitting them with a fax machine down the stairwell, and a lot of weapons in an office. A lot of unsuspecting weapons hiding. You can waterboard someone with the fountain, flush people's heads in the toilets, stab in the eyes with the pencils. There's offices are dangerous places if you know how to use those tools in front of you.
I think it was 3 ninjas that taught me a real ninja makes anything he can grab into a weapon.
Amen to that.
Which an office is riddled. And you said something earlier where it almost makes me want to draw back and say, like, these aren't traditional zombies. They are just work zombies. And Lance's goal is just to hit this revenue target. And the zombies that he's battling are people that are like, I'm just here for the PTO.
Right. I think that's what I think it's the battle he's fighting every day. Now he gets to fight real ones. I mean, we can do whatever in the future.
That's fun.
But I like that. I think he's already dealing with a different kind of zombie, and now he has to deal with actual zombies. I think this is hilarious, and it can take place like on a single floor of an office building. It's Shaun of the Dead in the pub, but for the whole movie, that the end of Shaun of the Dead, but not a pub, a classic cubicle filled corporate office floor.
Instead of brains, the zombies are just saying, per my last email.
Exactly right. And, and we don't need to do a lot of exposition in a movie like this, but maybe they figure out, like this isn't another dimension. This is us in the future. We're all becoming zombies. They just got sent back to finish us off, or whatever. But that's the point of the movie, the kind of metaphor, the theme, whatever that we would try to pull through it. I think is like, be careful. Like, don't worry about the zombies coming through a portal. Worry about the zombie you might be looking at in the mirror every day, and make sure that thing stays dead. Because life is too short. We'll all be zombies in the ground eventually. While you're here, make sure you're alive.
That's a good tagline for it.
Right. Yeah. I like this one.
Make sure you're alive while you're here.
So it became fun. And this would be kind of I don't know if this is the right term, but like a simpler movie, a more straightforward movie where I could see us having a lot of fun doing a lot of zinging one-liners, a lot of fun zombie death. How do we kill them with the water fountain, with an old peanut butter and jelly sandwich, a creamer that's expired? Like, how do we use all these things that aren't weapons turn them into weapons?
Tell Karen that the zombie drank the last of her oat milk.
I was going to say, how do we fire up the Karens in the office, have some of them get eaten? What happens to all the nap pods? They become, a barrier to block the zombies. We could have a lot of fun with it. A paddle board or a ping pong paddle is great at smashing a zombie's head in. We may find that out if we make Zombie Wars to feature. But there's plenty here. I like this one. It's grown on me.
It's at least, I like that it's different than the first thing I think of when I read Zombie Wars, right? Like World War Z, great book, fair movie.
Yep.
Don't want to do that again.
Right. It's been done.
Zombies in the Office. I'm not claiming to be a genius, but Zombies in the Office is relatively untouched.
Might be ripe for Beer Me That Movie to touch all over it.
Yeah. And with that, there's our idea for Zombie Wars. We're going to take a look at our next listener submission in beer number 2.
Next up, another beer, another excuse to avoid responsibility.
Beer number 2 comes to us from Instagram. Thank you, Brian D.
Yes, Brian.
Drinking this at Mood Burger Bar.
That sounds fun.
Every time I think of the word burger, I want a burger.
I know, me too. I'm
Sorry
Pavlov
for all of you
dogs.
that just heard me say burger,
Yeah,
but
go
we're
get
all in
one.
the same boat
That's
together.
right. Well, it's sinking quicker as we gain mass because of all the burgers we're eating. But that's okay. It's all right.
So beer number 2 is made by Maine Beer Company, and it's called Another One. Great beer.
Great beer, great brewery. I'll tell you what. So this is one of those beer names that we see them sometimes, and I'll often tell you, as we're going through the Fast Five, and I'll often tell you, John, this one's too broad. I don't know. It could be a million movies. Let's find something else. And we'll go scroll and find something else. But we wanted to take this one from Brian because we love Brian. He gives us great ideas, and we're up for the challenge. So with that preamble, man, I mean, this could be so many movies. I have kind of a half idea maybe we can play with where it's scary because it's our life, where right now we're basically, we're all living in kind of these doom scroll loops of like, basically that's all we're doing. You're on your phone at night, not going to bed. You're just, let me look at another post, another reel, another whatever. And you're kind of stuck in this loop. You're becoming a zombie, if you will. And, there's a million different ways you could tell a story about that. I had a bunch of thoughts about it. One of them was like, what if someone gets to like the end of the doom scroll, there is no another one? What happens to some creature split through the matrix and go, oh, you did it, you finally made it to the end of your phone? You're free. Is there an evil kind of AI that's controlling us with this endless scrolling that has a nefarious kind of motive? I don't know. I have sprinkles of an idea here for that, but also, again, like this, there could be so many movies called Another One. I don't want to limit us to this, but that's kind of where I was starting.
I like burger eating contests.
Sure, right.
But,
it's just
that's
another
not
one. Another one.
That's just a happy.
We're just remaking stuffed cheeks.
That's John's ideal ending,
right? Of John's life.
Yeah, exactly. You could have another 30 years
John,
left.
please
bud.
stop.
Look, I'm going into burger and I'm not coming
All
out.
right, I've gone too far. I'm at 33. I'm not leaving till I'm dead. Put me in the body bag.
But I like your idea. We've bagged AI a lot, but it's like an easy enemy to build
for now,
It
until
could
they
be-
come for us.
Exactly.
So while we can, we'll get those jabs in before we're mining on the moon for it.
We could pivot to like a bunch of robots, but that's really no different. It could be an evil corporation, but in 2025, AI is an easy bad guy to paint because that's what we do, right? Like for a while it was Russia, now it's AI.
Now it's AI and Russia.
So I like the idea that AI has gotten to a point where we're living life like the movie WALL-E. Or almost even like the Matrix, but instead of just going to bed, air quotes, and flipping through, looking for the next video that brings me a moment of joy.
What are we even looking for? But
Watch me make eggs. A chef taught me this. You're just making eggs. I'm getting angry.
Exactly.
Like,
well, that guy fell out of the chairlift. This is great. More chairlift falls, please.
4 million of them queued up. So who benefits from this right now? I think advertisers and the people that make money from advertisers. But in this world,
chairliftcatcher.com. Don't fall out of a chairlift. God, I found this.
bookmark that, just open it in a new browser tab and leave it for when I need it.
90 ads for the next month and a half. All right, good.
AI can control these people. Like we're already imprisoned, and now we're forced to like live these videos. So your life is like a goldfish. It's like 30 seconds you're falling out of a chair.
God.
30 seconds you're cooking eggs. And
Right.
after every one of these loops, you're presented with like a virtual button that you have to click. It's just this another one. And this is how people are living. So it's entertaining, like TikTok. It really is how people are living.
Right.
And then
More
we can have
immersive,
like a Neo or someone kind of figure out a way to
break
to
this.
get like a 60-second moment of life, or eventually like hack the algorithm.
I was gonna say, right, find the back door to shut all these loops down, but then what happens? That's a fun thing to explore, and it's called Another One, so we have Neo built right into one right
Ooh,
there.
Didn't even get that.
So that's fun. That tickles my fancy.
So I have a darker idea.
All right, let's hear this.
So this opens up like early America,
Okay.
before it was even America. And
Okay,
we're
okay.
going through like very puritanistic towns
Yes.
where girls are witches if they, for any reason. And we
She can read.
Exactly.
She doesn't smell like a garbage pile. She's a witch. She knows how to garden. Witch.
She made me look at her in a way that made me feel something. Let's see if she floats.
Tie bricks to her feet. Throw her in the river.
So this is the world we enter, and we hear a woman screaming through the agony of childbirth.
Okay.
And the dad is there, and it's like, you know, it's early, we'll say primitive childbirthing. Maybe there's some sort of a pseudo doctor with a washcloth
Sure.
on her head,
A Bible
and
right.
yes, and like a midwife just like giving her a stick to bite down on.
Right, exactly.
And then she gives birth to this baby, and
right.
we see the child, and she says, "Ah." Another one. And then we pan the camera over and we see that she has now 6 children that are identical.
Oh.
Not twins or 6 twins, whatever those are called.
Right.
But like varying ages. But you can see immediately that she's given birth to 6 of the exact same person.
Oh, fascinating.
I don't know where it goes.
Okay.
Are they the chosen ones? Do they lead America into a revolution? Are they 6 George Washingtons? Are they evil?
right.
Are they like the Omen?
Right. 6 Brightburns, superhuman evil things that are gonna ruin whatever. That's into. I like that, John. I did. So when you said, when you said medieval or early America, rather, my thought. So I have maybe the second half of this movie or the next chapter of
Good,
it.
because I only have the opening scene.
Right. So something like, and maybe we can connect these two. Maybe my idea is unrelated, but when you said that, and woman giving birth, I imagined, okay, so let's do everything you just did. So that'll happen. This is all happening in a town, and I'm imagining a town from like the movie The Witch, where it's like thatch roof houses, and this is 1679 or whatever. So again, not even America yet. We're in the colonies somewhere, just in a muddy little town. And right, this woman's giving birth to clones somehow. Maybe outside of the town, in the woods, in a cave, there's monster, a witch, something that requires like a human sacrifice to be kept away. And this woman's family's kind of been picked to be the one that gives the child each year, each 2 years,
Blood
each
moon.
harvest, whatever. Right. And she keeps making the same one, the same child. And again, I don't know how to make them come together. Is like the witch / monster controlling what kind of child is made? Is the child not killed but turned into the king of the forest when it gets, sacrificed, given to this woodland creature? I don't know. I don't have all the pieces, but I feel like those stories are fun. The kind of mythical early America where the mystery and the darkness in the woods still held like ancient monsters and demons, and you had to do something about it. And weird stuff happened in these little towns. They're just lost to history because half the people couldn't write. And if you could, your books were made of paper, and, dysentery at the town, well, your books and everybody's toilet paper, and the history is gone.
I like where you're going. I think my final submission for another one is this woman. She's given birth to, clones. There's a blood moon sacrifice that has to happen to keep the town safe.
Yeah.
And then this probably takes it away from the witch type horror, but what we learn is that no one in America is from America. And in
Right.
fact, this one family has lineage to King Arthur.
Oh.
And this is like
Yes.
King Arthur's being born again.
I like it.
And so
see
we know
this.
that this family is going to sacrifice all of their children, which is why there's so many of these clones with links to King Arthur. And at some point in the movie, we learn that the babies are all named George. And then we see
here
that the
we go.
family is the
Yeah,
Washington
yep,
family.
yep,
And then
yep.
we get to make up this world where America's founding father was descended from King
I
Arthur.
love that. And was the one of the 6 or 7 kids that survived the sacrifice, like for whatever reason. I like that like, whether it's fate, the universe, whatever, is like, all right, George Washington doesn't become a George Washington unless he's born in this town and deals with all this stuff. But there's something creepy in the woods that's going to kill a lot of
That's
them.
his
So
first
we need
nemesis is to kill
Right.
that woodland monster.
Right. And he's probably going to fail a couple times. So it's almost like a video game designer being like, we got to throw a couple big Marios in here, small Marios with the tail that can fly. Mario, like, we got to give this woman some options to beat this monster in the woods. So that one of the kids at least lives and becomes George Washington that creates America. Oh, I love this. This is goofy and weird, and we'll whittle it down to a thing that makes sense. But I think we have all the meat and potatoes to make a soup here, John. For remember that movie Soup? Absolutely, that has monsters and mythology and clones and everything we love.
We can finally tell the real story of America's
Right.
Papa.
Another one bites the dust, but not the last one. That George, sure he has wool teeth, but but he's alive and covered in witch dragon blood.
It's what gave him the power. He was the one.
That's right.
Which
That would be wild.
would be a fun sequel too. But I mean, we have Abraham Lincoln Vampire
We
Slayer.
do Vampire
so,
Slayer, which is a fun time.
Like
We can
Abe
have-
gets all the credit, but Washington was a
George Washington,
hulk of a man.
Witch Slayer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge
Oh,
man.
nice.
You know, we can get there with, is it a witch, is it a dragon, is it a 10-headed monster? That's for us to figure out if you guys vote for it.
And if you don't, here comes option number 3.
A single sip can spark a whole story. Let's see where this one takes us.
Beer number 3 comes from Mark D, made by Barry Q Brewing and Blending. Hopefully I say that right.
I think it's just Barrique, but I like Barry Q. Actually, I don't know, John. I always thought it was Barrique. Barry Q is probably right.
I think they're in Tennessee and they're
Well, there you go.
really, really talented.
Then there you go.
But maybe it's Barrique. Barrique makes more sense than Barry Q.
I like Barry Q.
Okay, so I promise the beer name is easier. The beer
Yes.
name is Dent.
Dent.
Dent, like what'll get you
Front of
in
my
trouble with
car.
a rental car company.
Exactly. That was my first thought. That's not a movie. That's just me crying and apologizing.
It could be fun, like it makes me think of was it Ferris Bueller's Day Off when he borrows his dad's car and he has to reverse the mile? But yeah, sure.
Exactly. Well, that was the first thought I had. Two beyond that was like a car that has a dent in the front of it, and it's almost like some guy wakes up, no memory, dent in the front of the car. Oh God, what did I do? I mean, some blood maybe, and he's got to retrace his own steps
that
and
could be
figure
creepy.
out. Right, did I kill someone? Did I hit a deer? Did someone else drive my car? Kind of a Memento type movie where all he has to go with
Don't look in
is
the trunk.
the dent. And then the end, right, it's just you should have looked in the trunk the entire time. There's a body there.
I think
But we can probably do better.
in Buffalo, New York, there's a big building called the Dent Neurological Building.
Okay.
And I don't know anything about it, but it always has like BMWs outside. There's probably like really fancy doctors and stuff. But that
like
makes
it.
me think, what if we lived in a world or country or place where
Dimension.
all of the dentists have this giant union And if you need any tooth work done, you have to go to a Dent office.
Oh, wow.
So it's like taking the worst part of dentist and just emphasizing it.
Growing
Like,
it, going
Dent.
global with it.
You got to go to Dent and get your teeth looked at. They're going to fuck you up and give you Novocaine and tell you it doesn't hurt.
It's Bobby Dent, the only name in dentistry. And he's monopolized dentistry in the world, and you have to go to a dent office. Okay, I see it. So
there's not even dental colleges. You just go to the Dent Institute.
Right.
You pay your fee. You do your 2-week training, and congrats.
This is a
dentist.
tooth. This is a gum. This is Novocaine.
Here's some pliers.
All the Novocaine in the gum. Pull the tooth.
And to make
Charge
this
'em.
a little more Beer Me That movie, the person, the entity behind this
Bobby
organization,
Dent, whispering into Bobby Dent's ear.
the Tooth Fairy.
Not a devil on his shoulder,
It's
a
the
tooth fairy by his
but,
side.
but not the sweet little
No.
fairy angel that comes to give you $1 for your tooth. This is a tooth fairy like from a Lagerstani nightmare.
Right, exactly. A fae, a terrifying woodland creature that's akin to a demon that has gotten the ear of Bobby Dent and using him to harvest teeth by the millions, by the truckloads for evil, nefarious tooth fairy things. I love this. And that it's right. It's like, how was that movie? The Devil's Advocate, The Devil's with I think it was Keanu Reeves and
Al
Al
Pacino?
Pacino.
Yeah, great
Right.
movie.
Right, but but the Tooth Fairy is the one pulling all the strings or having the speaking or through Bobby Dent. Oh, this is good.
And we know the Tooth Fairy wants teeth.
Yes,
Of course, that's all I really know about her.
Right. Right.
We could. I don't know where the. I don't know where
I think the story is around Mark D, who checked this beer in, who gets a whiff of what sounds like a Pizzagate style conspiracy, but there's some truth to it. Follows the breadcrumbs as far as he can and tries to take down the Tooth Fairy. Tries to free the world it's trapped under the spell of Bobby Dent, who's been compromised by the Tooth Fairy itself, one of the oldest.
Now they pay me to take their teeth.
Exactly right. And Mark D just has a pair of his own pliers and no Novocaine, but some laughing gas for fun.
And other things.
You're right. Exactly right. It's business and pleasure for me. Oh, it's the last thing most people hear when Mark D kicks the door in. And he's just root canaling his way to the top. He's what's his face? He's John McClane, the John McClane.
He's doing
in this story.
fill-ins,
right?
which Dent
And
Institute hates.
He could
Just
be.
pull him.
Mark D could be a small mom and pop dentist shop. One of the last ones somehow got grandfathered in. His father had a dentistry, and there's one loophole.
They didn't sell out.
Right, exactly. And he held on and has a small shop, and of course the Tooth Fairy and their gang try to knock him out of business, but they picked the wrong guy to mess with. And Mark D is gonna make him pay all the way to the top. And then it becomes Vortex Hands, but it's Tooth Pulling Man.
So Dent would be kind of fun to mess with the Tooth Fairy, make
yes.
him really, really evil.
Yep.
All dentists are evil.
Right.
So that
Never enough
falls right in
Novocaine.
line.
Never enough laughing gas.
But I like so Marcus, I like this. This gives the movie some bones. So we could make this happen if you vote for it, where it's Mark D, the mom and pop dentist, and he's getting really lit up because he's not extracting teeth for the Tooth Fairy.
Right.
He's telling people that they can just fix them with brushing and stuff.
This is like going against the mob and making gin in your own bathtub during Prohibition. This is
Dent has their own floss. It's just spun sugar.
Right, exactly. I love your floss.
It's delicious.
Keep using it. You can even eat it. You leave it in your mouth for hours.
Yeah, put it in and leave it. That's what the dentist recommends.
See you next week.
If you give us 10 teeth, we give you one free.
You're right in a world full of applesauce and oatmeal. So everyone's just chewing their gums.
Go to Dent, get a free Ninja blender.
You'll need it. All right, cool. So Dent, that had some legs or some teeth or whatever we want to say. For beer number 3, we've got beer number 4 coming up next.
Another beer steps up to the plate. Will it be a home run or a total strikeout?
Beer number 4 comes from Lee. Checked in, made by Fieldwork Brewing Company.
Nice.
And called Boots and Buckles.
Boots and Buckles.
If your head is in a Texas square dance, we are in the same place.
We're there dancing with you. Do-si-do, baby.
Boots and buckles to the
Boots
floor. Grab your partners.
Oh, get ready to drop it like it's hot. Okay, so I had that thought. Then, John, all right, so what else? Boots and Buckles.
Clothing manufacturer.
What kind of clothes? Who wears clothes with boots and buckles, John?
Fancy women in the city.
Okay, keep
Gang
deeper in the back.
members.
Keep going further back. What kind of gang? A sea gang, perhaps?
Pirates.
Right.
The gangs of the,
gangs
sea.
of the sea. Forget about gangs in New York. I want to see gangs of the ocean.
The Atlantic gang.
So I think we can do something there with boots and buckles. And now that we have sat on it for a couple minutes, this feels like, forget about buddy cop movies. Let's do a buddy pirate movie, John. With boots, I be boots and he be buckles.
Are they both humans, or is
Oh boy.
Buckles like a capuchin pirate?
Sits on Boots' head and he does the stealing while Boots does the dancing. They switch roles. That's a dancing monkey routine. This guy is just dancing. Where'd that monkey go? Where's my wallet?
I'm the greatest dancer in the 7 seas.
I thought it was 2 humans. Now I think it needs to be a human and a monkey. Oh my gosh. I mean, it could be.
Buckles is the navigator.
Right, exactly. Can see higher, smell farther. That'd be good. I mean, if I was a parrot is not that useful. I definitely wanted a monkey assistant to help me steal things, alert me that bad guys are there, coming, wake me up.
I'd even give Buckles a pistol.
Yeah, exactly right. Easily, definitely a weapon, sword.
You can only shoot it
pistol,
once.
knife. Yeah, but so can we all. Back in those days, you just fire your musket and then you hit people in the head with it. That was it. So, okay. All right. So he could be a monkey. It could be a human and a monkey. It could be a human and a human. I don't know if that matters that much right now, but I like the idea of a buddy pirate movie. And now we've got it's pretty broad. We've got the whole sea to play with. What kind of adventure we throw Boots and Buckles in. And we could, to make it kind of easy, or maybe not, but to go somewhere maybe obvious, is take a quill out of Forrest Gump's book and just kind of put them in important times in history. Boots and Buckles are there when...
I thought you were going someplace else.
Sorry. Make them run down the road, chasing after a girl. No,
He's a shrimp pirate.
Right, of course. The first shrimper in the seas. But make Boots and Buckles be somewhere important so we can have some fun with it and draw some history and some other stories. I
It'd
don't
be
know.
fun if... So, pirates were, I think, mostly chased by the English Navy.
Correct.
And so what would be fun is if, like, Boots and Buckles were sort of like the Blackbeard of this universe.
Okay.
And all the pirates hated him, and the Queen's Navy hated him.
Got it.
But then something happens, and Boots and Buckles is able to unite the pirates like Genghis Khan did.
Oh,
and
here
then
we go.
actually make the English Navy scared, and maybe even take over England
Okay, rewrite some history here.
before America was discovered. Therefore, changing the course of the whole world to where we all live like pirates now.
Yes, America never exists. It's just pirate land. It's Boots and Bucklesburg. And there's a Margaritaville in every corner. So I like this. This is fun. You're right, because the pirates all lost, unfortunately. But what if they didn't? And what if it just took two men or a man and a monkey to overthrow the entire British Navy? That's a fun movie. That's got Master and Commander meets Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure written all over it, which is the collaboration nobody asked for, but the exact kind you would get on Beer Me That Movie. All right. I think I see enough there where I'm happy with it, and we'd have to spend a lot of time ripping through it in the future to get what to find the whole movie. But I think we have enough to plant that seed.
It's a buddy pirate.
A buddy pirate movie.
Genghis
but they
Khan,
changed with
Master
Genghis
and Commander.
Khan, Days of Confused Bill and Ted. And they rewrite the world.
And yeah, if you vote on this, maybe they end up just becoming the king of England, and everything stays the way that it is today.
Right.
But it could go a lot of different ways. But I like the idea of the buddy pirates battling the Royal Navy.
Yes.
But then gaining the advantage, which I don't think pirates ever had.
uniting all the pirates. That's because I guess
kind of against pirate code,
Sure.
I think, to do that.
Maybe.
But
We'll find out.
Split the booty.
Maybe they change it. They could help the pirates see the bigger picture. The world could be theirs. That would be a heck of a world. Different problems.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be all very like 90s Detroit.
You're probably right.
Maybe.
Right.
I mean, it might be good. It might be Mad Maxian.
Yeah, I was going to say, probably more like Mad Max. At this point, the dinosaurs would be back. We'd all be dead. They wouldn't last 100 years. They wouldn't last.
We never
10.
invented the atomic bomb. We never needed
it. So the pirates won, guys. So we'll write Earth off.
It's the year 2200. We still have cotton sails.
Right. Exactly. Oh my gosh. All right. I mean, that's something there. It's something no one's done before. We're happy to take it and do it first.
And we got one more chance coming up with beer number 5.
Like a sequel nobody asked for, here comes the next beer.
For our 5th and final beer in this Fast 5, it comes from Rich W, made by Burial, named Shadowclock.
Shadowclock. Great name, great brewery, great beer. So, okay. Love this name. Shadowclock. Do you have any initial thoughts, John? I have a few, but
it's me when I'm trying to see what time it is in the middle of the night.
Squinting.
Can't see.
It's me every time I see an analog clock. And I go,
is it still only 11? No, it's 2 o'clock. Damn it. Yeah, or analog clocks.
Right. I don't know what's happening. I'll just ignore that I've seen this clock.
Yep, this clock isn't working.
Neither is my brain.
Shadowclock. I mean, it gets kind of sinister. Maybe it's a shadow clock is the clock which tells us all when we're going to die. But fortunately, we only have regular clocks, so we can barely understand.
We have no idea about it until now. So maybe this movie, Shadowclock, could be, whether it's through AI. We throw AI under the bus a lot. Maybe in this movie, we'll just say AI or someone using AI figures out how to see everyone's shadow clocks. And so now they're all public. Now everybody knows.
You've had your social security numbers made public, your credit cards made public.
Your
now
passwords.
your shadow clock.
Everybody can see your shadow clock if you want. And so this is just the world we all live in, where now everybody knows the day and the minute and the second they're gonna die. And I think where our story begins, though, is that our protagonist, man, woman, something else, whatever,
Rich
man. So Rich, who checked this in, will, be at a coffee shop one day and say, oh, I'm going to have a mocha frappuccino. And then say, actually, you know what? Never mind. I'll have a chai latte. And all of a sudden his shadow clock changes and jumps forward 10 years or something. And that's never happened before. Everyone's shadow clock, since we've discovered them,
just like a giant spreadsheet on the internet.
Right. Yeah. And the number that you get the first time you look at your shadow clock, the day you're going to die, the minute, the second,
people
never
have tried to change it.
Right. Exactly.
Like, oh, I'm going to eat healthy now. Right. Oh, I'm going to not go skydiving.
Right. Yeah. It just can't be changed. It's been written in the shadow clock. and that is in the Shadowclock cannot be changed, or so everybody thought. And now one day Rich did something seemingly innocuous.
And I like Rich doesn't even know, right? He doesn't check his shadow clock every day.
Okay.
But he gets home and he's like, oh, let me check. And then he
Yep.
realizes, like, wait a minute, I got an extra 10 years.
Right. What happened?
Did
What did I do differently?
I didn't take a screen. Like, then he kind of like, what did I do? Does anyone screenshot this every day and happen to catch me?
Right.
Was I just wrong?
Right.
Like when John reads an analog clock, did I really get 10 more years?
Yes. Right. Exactly. So we can, and that's, I think, enough for us to play with and have fun chasing Rich around and trying to get to the bottom of the Illuminati AI force that even released these shadow clocks. And are they what we think they are? Are they something different? And yeah, we got to have fun with that. Go into a lot of dark secret back rooms and kind of rare snack it up. Figure out what's going on with these shadow clocks, really, now that that Rich is the one who's changed his.
We don't even know who's behind the shadow clock. Really, a lot of people probably just assumed it was like some dumb.
They saw it on Instagram.
thing.
They were like, "Cool, I gotta download this app."
And then it started to be true.
Right, exactly. This is
3,000
mine tomorrow.
people that only have one day left.
Right, exactly. Yep. And they get hit by a bus. And it becomes true. So everyone freaks out. Yeah. So we'd have fun building the world up a little bit and then throw Rich in the middle of it. He's the first one to change it. And we got to figure out why and what actually changed, what happened. That'd be good. A good little Rubik's Cube for us to stumble through and make some kind of sense a little bit.
We give Rich a partner, a wife or something like that. And her shadow clock is down to like a week, and then Rich gets 10 extra years, and he's trying to figure out, now there's some pressure, like, I need to figure out how to give you 10 extra years in a couple of days.
Why me? Take my time. Take some of my shadow clock back.
That could even be fun too. Like maybe Shadow Clock opens up like a payment system where you can like buy other people's time.
He maybe in his exploring discovers that, of course, the super rich, they've been trading shadow clock days and years since they first found out about it. Dun, dun, dun.
You can buy one day for $50, and then the second day is $100, and the third is $1,000.
Is your firstborn child? Is all your blood?
I don't know if that'll work, but I mean, okay,
all right.
Yeah, take it.
As long as I'm not gonna die.
Someone give me extra blood just in case.
Use it.
Democracy in action. Pick your favorite before the deadline.
All right, so we got some meat there. Again, we can make a stew. We've got something going on. We got some bones, got some meat. The rest will.
And now we got to pick those bones clean, Harrison.
That's right. We got to pick now. Shoot, I forgot about this. We got to figure out how to.
We have to kill one of these puppies.
Exactly right. How to pull one of these out. So let's recap them really quick. All right. So we have from Lance, Zombie Wars by Beer Zombies. Was beer number 1. Brian gave us another one, which we had a lot of fun with. George Washington clones. Dent, which made me giggle. The dentist monopoly run by the Evil Tooth Fairy. How do we take it down? Boots and Buckles, laughs.
Love
and
Boots and Buckles.
More on the high seas. And then the last one, Shadowclock. Is your death day permanent, or can you change it? Only Rich can find out.
I really like Shadowclock too. Yep. For me, the two that are on the chopping block are Dent and Zombie Wars.
Oh, really?
I like Zombie Wars, but like I love another one.
Yeah.
I love Boots and Buckles, and I really like Shadowclock.
Okay. Yeah, Dent, you're right. Dent's fun, but it is kind of just die hard with
against
people.
the Tooth Fairy.
Which we could do. And if everyone loves it, let us know, and we'll just
Yippee-ki-yay, mother dentist.
Go floss yourself. Bam. Oh, wash your mouth out with this bazooka. Sweet, a lot of great one-liners there, but I'm fine putting Dent in the vault and or and off of tonight's or this week's 4 that we're gonna vote for, and keeping Zombie Wars because I really liked. I didn't know if I would feel how I'd feel about it, but I liked where we ended there of work zombies versus actual zombies. Who's gonna win? Okay, cool. So the four you guys have Zombie Wars, another one, Boots and Buckles, and Shadowclock. Hot diggity dog. 5 beers, 5 pitches, 4 contenders. Only one will rise to the top like a foamy, slightly evil head on a cursed IPA.
Head over to Instagram and vote for your favorite. The winner becomes next week's feature film, whether it deserves it or not.
And if you don't vote, don't worry. We'll assume you wanted the one we wanted.
But you definitely should vote. It's called civic responsibility. Look it up.
Beer, ideas, mild regret. See you guys next week.
Peace.
Punch?
Give
me your shadow clock. Close one there. Clock. I said clock with an L.
Give me that shadow clock, baby.
Shut your mouth.